We are back for another edition of Heart to Heart. My name is Elmira. I am your heartbreak healer and self care coach, always helping you turn your breakup into breakthroughs. Here on Heart to Heart, we share breakthrough stories. We get perspectives from people all over the world. And today is part two of the conversation with Matus Hanidziar, all the way in Spain. We are chatting about the identity as a father. We started this discussion on yesterday, and then there were some disturbances with my here in Atlanta. We had winter storms. It got like frigid cold. It's been like 18 degrees, 15 degrees, 20 degrees. Like we had some snow, some ice. I'm telling you, one of the things I'm grateful for is the community which I live in, because they band together. People were helping each other get home and all kinds of stuff in this particular storm. And it was like, did you know you lived in such a great community? He's like, no, I didn't really know that. Hey, what's up? And I was like, because I'm the connector, I'm the community person. So I'll let you know. How are you doing today, Matis?
It's very good. It's very good. Thank you very much, Almira.
Awesome.
Great pleasure connecting with you this time, second time. I'm very, very happy about it.
Very good. Well, what's going on there today in Spain?
It's been really nice weather in the last couple of days, and we are about 3 weeks, from the birth of my son. So what came today is actually this bed that he will be sleeping on, and as you can see, my
Nice.
daughter already was testing. She was already testing it, how it whether her dolls fit. So it was a lot of fun today for us, right? So yeah, we are slowly preparing, bringing different things, because obviously, we have experience from the previous child, so we know what worked for us, what didn't, and now it's much more smooth. I'm looking forward to it.
So what's
How
different? What's different this time? Oh, what were you gonna say? I see you get excited about
Yeah,
something.
I was gonna ask you how was your day, because I understood, like I was looking at your profile, and I understood that you had birthday a couple of days ago.
I did,
Happy
and I'm in.
birthday! Whoa, happy
Thank
birthday!
you.
Wow, okay. I
Yeah,
saw some video there where
my
you were doing some dance or something. I was like, whoa, she had birthday just now. Great.
yeah, I Monday was my birthday, January the 20th, and I'm a big birthday person, like for other people and myself.
Right.
I've been celebrating all week. But what I did on Monday night is host a worldwide dance party for people. I One of the things I teach is movement,
Wow.
massage, and I understand how movement, especially dance, helps with your mental health. Like it just does. And so we had a dance party. It was super fun. I had some family, some friends, some colleagues.
Wow.
People come and join me. I danced for 90 minutes straight. So
Wow. Okay. No, that's something that is really inspiring for me. So I'm really, thankful that we get to connect once again.
yeah, because that'll be, speaking of birthdays, that's what's coming up. Once your son gets here, that will be a new birth. That
That's
will
correct.
be a birthday. You don't know when it's going to be. Like you know when you're becoming a father, they give you this projected due date. But do you know if that's really going to be the birthday? You
Of
don't
course.
know.
Yeah, it's just a rough estimate, right? So, it can be in 2 weeks, it can be in 4 weeks, it can be whenever. Like my wife would say, oh, let it be tomorrow, let's get this over with, because she's like literally like moving like this small and slow penguin, like penguin around. Um, but yeah, I mean, he will come when he will come, and we'll be ready. So that's it.
Yeah,
That's
that's it's something I want to ask you based on what you just said. Do you feel feel more ready this time because you've already experienced fatherhood? And we were talking previously about that burst of emotion that came in. Do you feel ready, or is this just different? Is it the same? What's happening?
Well, it's really, really like I feel that as soon as he arrives, everything will be easier. Don't know why, I can't tell, but I just feel like when he comes, we will kind of just roll with it and we will know what to do. But at the same time, I guess it's maybe my different frame that I put on challenges. Like I used to believe for the longest time that life is here to make me happy. And now I know that life is here to challenge me, as much as I can. And every time that I'm kind of falling asleep and feeling like, oh, now everything is working, everything will stay the same. Never, nothing will ever stay the same. And that's what it is, like the challenges are here for us to grow. And so I can only see how much I grew through my daughter. And I really indeed, for anyone who is watching this and kind of preparing for the first child, I just want to say that I believe that I'm not here to teach my children anything. It's more about they coming to teach me. They coming to teach me how to be present once again. They coming to teach me how to play, how to have fun, and how to be curious about things that I forgot to be curious about. Going to the nature and just stopping, and there is like this. Like I don't know. It's just some bug or something, and we are there for 15 minutes just exploring. I feel that our kids are here to teach us much more than we are here to talk to teach our kids. That's
How did you come to that realization? Because most parents think the other way. Like, I'm not a parent myself, but I've seen it with my sister, seen it with my mother, my little brother. You think, oh, I got to teach them all this. I got to show them this. I got to.
right.
How did you come to, wait a minute, I'm here to learn from them.
Yes. So I don't know how much you know about human design because I use it with my work and for myself. And
I
based on
know
human design,
like
I'm a
this much, a little bit.
A little bit. Okay. So based on human design, I'm a role model, meaning that people are always kind of watching me and look at what I'm doing good or bad, and then they, like kind of align their actions with that. But I really believe that we as parents, regardless of our human design, we are all role models, and I don't think that I'm here to teach her or teach him when he comes in my words, but more in my actions. And so they will always, always, always observe what I'm doing and how I function, and they will always try to improve upon it. Whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, they will try to make it, more intense or more pronounced. And I really believe that it's more about me learning from. I mean, I can't avoid being a role model for my children, but trying to teach them something in the way of like, hey, let's sit down now, and I'm gonna teach you a lesson. We have this. Oh, it's a great. Oh, okay, yeah, it's a great thing. We have these Bernstein Bears books.
Oh,
I don't know if you know them.
yeah.
They are the best. They are the best because there is a Papa Bear who is like just horrible at everything. And whenever he's teaching the lesson, he's teaching the lesson like, oh, this is what you should not do. And we read it every single day because it's so funny. Um, I really believe that I can't avoid being a role model, but at the same time, I'm embracing being a father from the perspective of like, what can I learn that I forgot? Because I mean, even in my work, I feel like you and I are not much different when we work with people, in the sense of I feel like path to happiness, and like I said, the life is not here to make me happy. It is me who is here to make me happy. And path to happiness is not about acquiring more things, acquiring more skills, acquiring more possessions. It's more about letting go and kind of not really learning stuff, but unlearning what is not really working. At least in my work, this is what I do daily. And so watching this joy in my daughter, joy out of just like nothing, just present moment. is something that I forgot, and I'm being reminded every single day, and I'm trying to remember, right? And I feel like that's really the purpose of being a parent, just to remember what we forgot, if it makes sense.
Yeah, remembering what we forgot, because what you're describing, like as you watch your daughter, just being in the now, being in the presence. It goes back to that book by Eckhart Tolle, The
Right.
Power of Now.
No.
Like we sometimes as adult, and I'm always teaching this, and my boyfriend laughs at me because I'm around the house playing and dancing. I intentionally act like a child, and people, it doesn't mean I'm childish. It just means I'm childlike with my imagination, being in the present, being in the now. When did we become so stuffy? But like you said, you're learning by watching your daughter, and you'll see even more things with your son when he comes on the. What's one of the things you picked up that you may have been surprised by? Because you're learning all this stuff from your child as a father. What's one thing you're like, I didn't expect to learn that?
I can tell you that one thing that I learned is, we talked about it yesterday. It's a great thing. There is a whole like list of things, but the most important thing is that I don't know if you watched or if you get a chance to see Inside Out 2, the animated movie.
Perfect, loved it. I did.
And so now that was an amazing frame to put on emotions, how we kind of acquire them as we grow up, right? And suddenly we didn't have these emotions. Suddenly we have them. It's like what is happening? And the emotion of embarrassment slash shame slash feeling weird slash feeling like out of place, that's non-existent in my daughter, right? It's nothing. Like she can be running around, completely naked. She doesn't care because she doesn't have any of that, right? And I can clearly see how these are really acquired and really taught, like they are learned. Some of these emotions. Of course, you are born with fear, and you are probably born with some anger tendencies, but you are not born with shame. You are not born with
Right.
embarrassment, and you only learn them. But as you learn something, you can unlearn it, and that comes back to what I was saying. So really the biggest realization is that emotions are really of our choosing. And I come to I mean, this might be weird, but I come to see emotions like these separate entities. I don't really believe that emotions are something that we possess. I actually believe that emotions possess us. I mean, when you look at it from the perspective of anger, right? Let's use this example. If you get angry, many people say, "Oh, I got angry." Well, in fact, if you got angry, it actually is quite the opposite. Anger got you because you acted in a way,
Right.
right, where you didn't expect, and you wake up. It's like, what happened? Well, you yelled at people, you were nasty, you were doing all these things. Oh, sorry, I wasn't here. Yes, you were, but you were under control of some other thing,
Of
right?
the
And so I really
anger.
believe that
The anger
the
got
anger.
you.
Right. And so I really believe that emotions are these like separate entities. And even Eckhart Tolle was talking about exactly this, that there is this pain body that kind of comes and sneaks up on you and starts to kind of control and overtakes whatever it is that you are trying to do. But I feel like these relationships that we have with emotions can be finished. They can be done, and that's what I do in my work. Like, you have been kind of walking around with shame, like hand in hand for I don't know, decades, and then you say, okay, shame, it's enough. No, it's enough.
Mhm.
We had a run, it was great. Look behind. Like we left no stone unturned, but now it's time to part ways. You go and find some other host to feed upon, and let me walk with joy, or let me walk with confidence, or let me walk with courage, right? So that's how I look at it. I don't really present it in this way towards clients, because many people would be like, this is weird, but I really do believe
No,
that
it's
this is how
not
I.
weird, Matis, because you saw that actual depiction in the movie in Inside Out 2 and the first one. We got to see how anger can take a hold of us, because anger is actually this person. Like they have a physical body. Embarrassment has a physical body. Sadness, she's walking around like this. She's with her head and you know. So for me, it makes sense. And what you described is if it came over me at that one point in time, it can end at a point in time. And that's what you don't you have a class coming up? Is the class tomorrow? What day is the class? The
Yeah,
shame
tomorrow,
class.
it's tomorrow in 22 hours from now, right? So it's 11 a.m. tomorrow. And it's shame. Yes, it's break free from shame. And it's exactly, step-by-step process how you can say goodbye to shame, regardless of how long you have been, like in a partnership with it. Or better yet, for however long shame was controlling part of you, right? That's
Hmm.
how I would frame it to be more precise, right? So, in other words, it's literally like shameful you just as much as highest you is always within you. It's almost like this radio station that you tune in and out of frequencies, and depending on how you tune it, you start to behave in a specific way. But maybe it is time to stop listening to this radio and just tune someplace else, right? And that's what we will be doing tomorrow, right? That's what actually I will be doing starting from tomorrow every single Friday, but focused on different emotion, focus on different part of building emotional base, emotional foundation, if this makes sense.
It's kind of interesting to me that when we started our conversation yesterday, like we did the first part, you talked about fatherhood opening up this spectrum of emotions. And now your work is focused on these spectrums of emotions, each of them as an entity. So, what created that juncture for you? Was it fatherhood that gave you more of an understanding of each of these emotions as an entity, or did it just come? Like, what happened? Because I'm making this link of what you said about the spectrum, and now you're going into each week. I'm going to explore a different one, and
That's a great question. So I started recently working with a client, and she was asking me. By the way, don't know why, but most of my clients, actually, right now, all of my clients are women, and I love it. But I digress. What I want to say is this: when we were on the call, she was asking me a question, and that is, I presented what I do and what I can do for her, and she said, "Okay, I really believe that this could work for me, but I want to ask you, what would need to happen for it not to work? Like, what is it? When is this? What could be standing in the way? What is the block that would be standing in the way of effectiveness of this process?" And I
mm-hmm.
was thinking for a while, and I told her, well, the only thing that could be standing in the way of you changing is that you didn't suffer enough. And she was like, "What did you just say?" I was like, "Yeah, this is what I said, because this is actually." And when you ask about juncture, for me, it was intense suffering. It wasn't me coming into parenthood or fatherhood and be like, "Oh, now I feel all these emotions. It's great. Let's help others."
Right, yeah.
It was me getting into a parenthood and being completely confused and lost about what am I supposed to do. It was me then discovering that we are expecting another child, and we were not ready, and then we lost this child. Actually, it was a miscarriage of twins. It was me then going through a grieving process of year and a half where I couldn't really handle it, and then going through a breakup with my wife, who said that I can't be with this person, like we need to take a break. And so, having gone through this one and then navigating kind of the path back to each other, and then understanding that I was carrying grief, and I was carrying shame, and I was carrying betrayal, and I was carrying loneliness deep within. And then me trying to climb out of those states and transforming myself into somebody who can then maybe share something with the world. It was suffering. It was suffering. It was intense suffering, and but it kind of created this roadmap. It created this roadmap for others to follow, and what I don't want to say teach, but what I lead people or guide people through is what I experience. Meaning, on all these masterclasses or even in my one-on-one programs, I just do with people what worked for me. I would not come out on YouTube or here saying, hey, you can release grief in 7 days if I didn't do it for
Yeah,
myself or
you
didn't do it
did
for.
it. Yeah.
So, in other words, yes, you can suffer for a year and a half and trying to figure it out what the heck is happening, and then stumble upon a process and be like, whoa, I feel suddenly the grief disappeared. What happened? And then be like, hey, maybe this could be useful for others, right? And find out that actually nobody is really doing it. And many of my clients who came to me about grief, they come after 12-week program and they say, "Oh, I didn't feel resolved. I feel actually even worse than I was before because
Wow.
now I know what I'm grieving about, but nothing happened, right? And no change." And I'm like, "Yes, because maybe you are using a different part of your mind that you shouldn't be using for this, right? Because think about it like this: whenever we try to understand emotions, whenever we ask question why, like why do I feel this, we are stuck. We are down the rabbit hole that leads to nowhere, right? Because there are thousands of reasons why you can be feeling sad or angry or why you can be frustrated. It is not about understanding with your conscious mind. It is not about understanding the emotions. It's about feeling them, holding space for them, just like we are trying to for our kids as parents. Does this make sense to you?
Makes total sense. It makes total sense because it's almost what I'm hearing and feeling is we have to nurture these emotions. We have to give space to them. We can't
Right.
just say you talked about shame and the intense suffering. You couldn't just ignore it and be like, "Oh, it'll go away." It's
Yeah.
like that intense suffering sent you to want a desire for something else and you didn't ignore all the emotions that were going on. You gave them attention just like you would a child. If the child is throwing a tantrum, I just don't say, "Oh, let me just leave the house until they're giving their tantrum." No, I go over and maybe give them a hug or give them some comfort. I see it as nurturing to the emotions.
Holding space, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
And we were talking about it yesterday, and that's a good metaphor that I always use. And it was just before it broke off. By the way, it must have been me. It must have been on my side because I was doing two lives yesterday, just like I told you. And the first live that I did for my channel, I was, fumbling something with my phone. And out of 30 minutes, the first 7 were with sound, and then I turned off the microphone without knowing it. So I just
What?
recorded myself. Yeah, I mean, it happens. It happens. It's okay. I recorded it
It's
once again.
okay. To me,
So
that's real life in action.
yes, but what I was saying yesterday was this example that I used for people with anger, and this is applicable to any emotion. When people come to me and they say, "I have anger issues," I say, "You haven't felt angry enough." And they say, "How can you? I mean, I've been struggling with it for decades now. You tell me this one." No, no, no. It works like this. When you have anger issues, then you can imagine that there is this anger scale between 0, where you don't feel anger at all, and 10, where you are outraged. But people with anger issues usually navigate their life between, let's say, 5 and 7. Sometimes it goes higher, and they're like, no, 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 I shouldn't. It's almost like when you imagine a small child, your subconscious mind, very curious about something. There is a new toy. Let's go there. Let's go there. And you say, no, 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 no. Let's not go there. Don't look there. Don't look there. The small child is not satisfied with this. And your subconscious mind is not satisfied with your approach to anger. It is like this toy. It is like this juicy thing. I want to explore it. And so what I do with my clients is, in a very relaxed state, I take them by their hand to explore anger and tune up the volume 10 out of 10. Because
Mm.
once this happens and people are like, "Oh, this doesn't make sense." Well, it actually makes sense because in order for you to stop being attached to something, you need to be satisfied with it. And how can you make yourself satisfied if you don't allow yourself to go there? So you have somebody standing next to you, holding space, and then going 10 out of 10, like turning up the volume, and you exploring it from all the different angles. It's like, this is anger. Look at it. It takes 30 seconds, it takes maybe 60 seconds. But once this is done, because we are using subconscious mind, the subconscious mind is satisfied. And so then it's almost like this small child is like, there, you saw it, you explore it, you play with it. Happy? And so, yeah, of course, I'm happy. Let's play with some
Yeah,
pushes, right?
yeah.
And so then, and only then, we can use the same concept for installing a new emotional vibration and kind of set a set point where we stay somewhere between 5 and 7. So we never are, and let's say we explore joy and somewhere always there. And so we can kind of shift this emotional wave that used to go into anger into something else, like enthusiasm, like
Mhm.
courage, something that is beneficial, right? So this whole layout of emotions can be differently aligned, if it makes sense.
Do you think we don't know how to, many of us don't know how to explore the range of emotions? Because what I'm sitting here thinking, as you describe this angry person, and then you tell them, oh, you haven't been angry enough. It's like we have this wide range of emotions, but some of us subconsciously decide to stay here. I only want to stay in anger, or I only want to stay in joy, or I only want to stay in happiness, whatever it is. Why do we not always explore, or why do some of us not explore the wide range of emotions?
Because of familiarity. So we don't, the brain never chooses what works. It always first chooses what is familiar. And then out of those familiar options, it chooses what works. And so if you have been raised in a home where drama was on daily basis, or shame was being taught to you, or grief because we lost somebody 3 generations ago and now we are grieving and everybody is grieving, and so you should be grieving too, and we are like, yes, we are grieving. So when you were taught, navigate your life in these emotional homes, even as you move away from your physical home, you take these emotional homes with you. And it's usually no more than 7 emotions. Sometimes it's like 3 or 4 when I work with
Hmm.
people. It's like, I'm angry, I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling okay, and I'm feeling bleh. That's like these 4. Like they don't even know what it's called, right? Doesn't have to be, they don't need to be precise about what is it that they are feeling. But it's all about familiarity. And so what is great about hypnosis that I use like daily, is that hypnosis allows people to experience new options and making them familiar. And so then when you enter a new situation or familiar situation, you now have more options because you practiced more options, and you can choose from a wider range, exactly like you were saying. So, instead of choosing just from these 4, we introduce another 2
Mhm.
emotional states and be like, okay, if you go to that situation, you can also choose this one. Doesn't mean that you can't choose these 4, but there are these 2 now similarly enticing and equally familiar. And so then you have more options. And I believe that people change not with awareness, but I believe that people change with more unconscious alternatives that are available to them and that are familiar to them.
Yeah, that makes sense because I can personally relate to what you're saying about my emotional homes. Because in my home, we were not taught to get angry. So anger seemed like a bad thing to me when actually anger is healthy. Expressing anger in some way is healthy, but it would seem as, oh, you should never get mad. You should never. And I had to unlearn that.
Right. And even this blend of emotions of, like, it's almost like putting shame on anger. It's like
Yeah.
then it's so blended that people have struggles to navigate it. Well, in my home, we were taught anger very much. We were taught a lot of shame. We were taught a lot of guilt, and like usually out of this pie chart of emotions, of these emotional homes, there are some positives and some negatives. if
Mhm.
we if we choose to look at it from the duality perspective, though I don't believe that any emotion is negative, but let's look at it from like, these feel good and these feel not so good.
Right, right.
But at the same time, now we are different, right? We are adults. We experience things. And just because we are carrying this inner child inside us, this subconscious mind, this inner child that is no longer than 6 to 9 years old, we don't have to navigate our lives as this 6 or 9 years old. We can actually choose different options, but we need to know the way how to do it, right? Just talking about it or just wishing that it would happen will not change anything. It's like if the awareness of the problem could solve the problems, we would have much less smokers and much less procrastinators and much
True.
less people who are like, oh, I would like to stop this. I know it's a problem, but I keep doing it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good note to end on because we can't just be aware. We have to take action. Y'all need to connect with Matus here on Instagram, on YouTube, everywhere. Where else can they find you? Where else can everybody find you? Get in one of your master classes, become a client, whatnot.
Thank you very much for asking. So I'm on Instagram mostly. I'm on X. I'm on YouTube. It's all with my name and surname, so Matus Hanidziar. Also, I have my own website. It's either www.matushanidziar or Ready Matus Hanidziar or Clarity Matus Hanidziar. There is a lot of those. There is a lot of
I
those.
love how easily that rolls off your tongue, your name. Mine does not.
Yeah, I
I
know.
can't say it that quickly.
Practice. It's practiced. Yeah. I prepared for this live. I prepared for it. Before it was horrible. You should have seen. No, but um, they can obviously find me kind of all around the web. It's all about connecting with the people that you resonate with, right? Isn't it? When you think about it, there are people who, if they are watching us, they would be like, "Oh, this is ridiculous," and I'm totally fine with that, right? Like,
Mhm.
I don't do shame anymore, right? Just like I said yesterday, I was on the 7 years ago, I was on the training where they said this one, and I was like, no, this is ridiculous. How can you say that? No, I don't do it. So if somebody wants to like feel strange about what I'm sharing, it's okay. But I always share just what worked for me, and if it resonates, then I'm here, for people to answer questions. What I want to ask you, just to close, is how can I support you? Because I mean, honestly, I really, really enjoyed the way uh, how we navigated this.
Yeah.
Even two part. It's almost like series. If it has a good good numbers, we can
How
continue.
you, I will tell you how you can support me. Send me more people who want to be interviewed,
Nice.
who want to tell their breakthrough story, because that's what I do on this Heart to Heart every Wednesday at noon. We're just here on Thursday because we had some challenges yesterday with, but yeah, send me people who want to be interviewed. You think of somebody or you have a colleague who you're like, I think they need to, because one thing you should know about me, we just met, y'all. Me and Matus just met, like literally. But that's how I am. Like I'm a connector. I know how to connect with people all over the world, people of all types, because I just have a natural curiosity going back to that childlike quality. I just want to know. And with me being curious, I know the people watching this are like, I never thought about it that way. And so
Mhm.
we're just peeling back and giving you the highlights so people get more, just by having this heart to heart chat, people get more insight into what you
As
do.
you were talking, I already thought of at least two people. So I'm gonna just find you in the inbox on Instagram, and let's continue the conversation there.
Very
Myra,
nice.
I
Yeah.
admire your yoga. It was very good. I really, really enjoyed it, and thank you very much for the time.
Yes, we will stay connected. And until next time, everybody, this has been Heart to Heart. Goodbye.
Thank you very much. Bye.